Hamilton as we kick off week number 10 in the CFL. The City and the Tiger Cats have been celebrating their hometown hero today. NBA champion and MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The festivities kicked off with a rally right here at Hamilton Stadium where thousands got to hear from SGA and watch him receive a key to the city. What a way to kick things off. What a time to be a sports fan in the city of Hamilton. And a lot of these fans have been around here since noon Eastern at the rally this afternoon. Then, of course, sticking around for the game itself. And why would they not? Even Shai's wearing a Hamilton Tiger Cat jersey. His team has been red hot, winning 6 straight games. And welcome inside Hamilton Stadium, everyone. Kate Burness alongside Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Milt Stiegel. We're back on the road. We didn't think we'd be back on the road until the triple header, but this is fantastic. I mean, it couldn't be a better night for football tonight.
This is beautiful weather, as you mentioned. Honoring SGA and Hamilton Tiger Cats. BC Lions is going to be another high-scoring game. It's exciting.
It is buzzing out here. I love it.
And excited. I can't wait for things to get kicked off.
And you know what? These fans, they're already into it. And we'll talk more about this game in just a moment. But first, let's bring in our Matthew Shinetti. And Matthew, it quite possibly was the game of the season when these two teams last met. It was an absolute shootout, and we expect the same tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about it, kid. And you talk about the Hamilton Tiger Cats looking for that 7th straight win that hasn't happened since 1972. We'll get to that history in a moment, but speaking of the BC Lions and Buck Pierce, they've had 2 weeks to process that 10-point giveaway they had late in the 4th quarter with about 4 minutes to go and surrendering that lead to the Ticats. And Buck Pierce talked this week to us about trying to keep a level. He knows he has talent on his team, but it's trying to make sure that structure's there and that winning really does become a habit. And if he's getting an indication that maybe that messaging is going through, well, Justin McInnes wore a retro Buck Pierce jersey to Hamilton. I asked him about where he got that jersey. He said a couple of Ticats super fans gave it to him, and he wanted to show love to his coach because he said, Buck Pierce, he's our leader. We'll roll with him. Now, to the Hamilton Tiger Cat side, and yes, they are flirting with the 7th straight win that they haven't had for 53 years, but Scott Milanovich isn't all that excited because he's been on his players and coaches this week about not relying too much on late game heroics. Scott Milanovich likes to have very process-driven work within his offense, defense, and special teams. He doesn't think he's had a full 3-phase game just yet, but he's also said, listen, I can feel on the sidelines late in the 4th quarter, we're getting something from our guys. We talk about it being SGA Day today. Well, I spoke to Bo Levi Mitchell, who knows a little something about getting MVPs and winning championships, and I asked him what the aura might feel like with SGA coming in and bringing the Larry O'Brien trophy. He said, Kate, it's undeniable for a team like the Ticats, who have that long Grey Cup streak over 25 years now. It really means something to have SGA in the house.
You know what, Matthew, we've been saying this all day, too. There is an energy right now in Hamilton that we haven't felt in a very, very long time. And look, SGA bringing the Larry O'Brien is certainly one thing, but this team winning the way they have recently is another. Look, they have had these close games, and obviously that's not the way Scott Milanovich wants every single game to end, but overall they're winning football games. But on the flip side, we haven't seen the best yet from the BC Lions, and I think this is a team, too, especially halfway through the season. Look, they have this chance and this opportunity right now to prove something, and they have a chance to get back at this team that just beat them. And Milt, you said it when they last played. You predicted 70 points. My goodness, you were nearly right. It was a complete shootout. It was phenomenal. And as I said to Matthew, we expect the same.
Expect the same. Expect the same. And I know head coach Scott Milanovich doesn't like the way his team is winning, but they're winning. And that's all that matters. You know, they've won 6 in a row after starting 0-2. And it's going to be a little bit more difficult now because they've had a tough stretch. You think about it, their last 3 games were all road games. They had a short week of practice. We talked to Bo before the game, and he said, basically, we had 1 day of practice, and you're playing against a BC Lion team who had 2 weeks to prepare for this team. So it's going to be a tough task. And then after they play the BC Lions, they play the 6-1 or 7-1 Saskatchewan Roughriders coming off a bye week. So if these BC Lions can win this game and win next week's game, clear-cut favorite. They are the best team in the CFL, but it starts with tonight's game, and it's not going to be an easy task.
You know, what settles a lot of problems is the fact that you have a quarterback like Bo that can put up numbers like he's putting up. Because we've seen games where I don't think this team's going to win. They're trailing in the last 2 minutes. They get outplayed at times. Maybe they're not rested, like as we're going to see tonight against the team coming off a bye. But what Bo's been able to do is something special. And so for me, Bo's ability to make big plays, to get down the field, that right there has been the difference maker. Bo, Levi Mitchell, again, we said it, we'll talk about it a little bit more later. The changes in the BC secondary, all eyes on those guys. There's 3 changes I see in this BC secondary.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bo Levi Mitchell is a guy who he's resurged into the stardom of this league. And, you know, I have PTSD really from the days when he was in Calgary. I really do. And he had this whole league in a chokehold, but he is back into that level. And what I love about this team is the fact that there are so many players. Yes, they started the season off with Kenny Lawler and the spectacular catches. Yes, he's still a main guy on this team, but I love the fact that the other guys are stepping up. You talk about Keandre, you talk about Tim White, and we haven't even heard much about Shamar Bridges yet. But this team has the ability to morph into different aspects and different attacks on offensively speaking. That's what I love about their offense.
You know, it's just a plethora of talent, and you're right, too. I mean, Keandre Smith, the way he has played over the past 2 games, and Lawler really hasn't done much, and albeit, too, the coverage on Kenny Lawler, and rightly so, has been absolutely suffocating at times. And for Bo, too, we've been saying this is the first time, again, in a long time. Bo just looks like he's having a great time. He's playing with this ease to him that it's just, we were speaking to him before the game, too, and he's like, you're right. What you're seeing, you know, underneath my visor right now is exactly what you're seeing from me, and that is, I am just happy playing football. And look, how can you not be when you have a team right now producing what they're producing?
When you're young and your career is just starting to get going, it's a grind. You're out there trying to grind, but later on, you just want to enjoy the sport. You want to have success and you want to enjoy it. And that's exactly what's happening with Bo right now. He's enjoying it. This is his 3rd year in this Milanovic offense, and I think he's comfortable. He understands it. You guys mentioned earlier, like, yes, Kenny Lawler is still the main guy, but over the last 2 games, Kenny Lawler has 6 catches for maybe 60 yards and no touchdowns. That means those other guys are showing up. But watch Kenny Lawler go big now, because they know they can't only key on Kenny Lawler, they have to key on those other guys. So I expect Kenny Lawler to really go off in this game.
There's nobody, maybe Mill, you could answer this question, but I don't think there's any receivers in this league that you can just leave one-on-one. No, like you can't. And that's really, you talked about Keandre, Kate, you mentioned what he's done. He's been excellent, but he's had the opportunity because they're shifting coverage. They're shifting coverage to Kenny, and I think teams are going to realize you can't do it. I mean, consistently in this league, you can't put 2 guys on and a safety up top. Guys are going to eat you alive, and that's what Keandre did, and he'll do it again. And same with Shamar Bridges, same with other guys. You can maybe shade coverage with 1 over top, but you can't double team and then have safety on the top. These other guys are going to eat you.
I mean, to stick with Keandre Bridges, Keandre Smith, he's loving life right now. You playing with a Hall of Fame, a future Hall of Famer in Bo Levi Mitchell. You got a guy in Kenny Lawler that you're learning everything from. The ability and the way that he attacks every single game, every single practices. That's all I keep hearing from the camp out here in Hamilton with regards to Kenny Lawler. Whether he touches the ball or not, he is impacting the game. So he's in heaven right now, and you can see it by the play that he's having.
And you know what, for Keandre, too, I mean, it's the swag, right? It's the chain out there, and now he's proven that, you know what, I mean, he wants to be part of this team. We didn't even touch about Tim White, for goodness sakes. I mean, this receiving core is absolutely incredible. The Ticats have been incredible. We have much more coming up right after this.
This will be their 6th straight win. The last time that's happened was 2019.
Gone Q wins it to the end zone. Shot for shot, the Ticats and Argos go back and forth. Touchdown, Kenny Lawler. Ridiculous. You know who. Kenny Lawler. He does it again. Mitchell to throw. Wide open. Keandre Smith has it.
Tim White, who is into the end zone. Touchdown.
Hey, was there ever a doubt?
Sold-out crowd at Hamilton Stadium tonight. Fans in this city could not be happier. They have their NBA MVP in the house tonight. Their football team hasn't lost a game since mid-June. BC Lions are hoping to do something about that tonight. And it starts with this run game when it comes to the BC Lions. We can talk about the game in the air in just a moment, too, because I really think a guy like Justin McInnes could get going. We've seen Hatch be great in yards after the catch. But for James Butler, he's got 619 yards on the ground. I mean, he has been a menace. You can't tell me that James Butler doesn't want to come in here tonight and prove something, because you're against your former team. You know that there's a little bit of an edge there, Ian.
It always is like that, Kate. And his first game back in Hamilton since he's left, and he is going to play a huge role right here. We're talking about keeping the ball away from Levi Mitchell. Yes, we can talk about the defense, which we will at some point. But from an offensive perspective, you want to hold on to the ball, and you do that by having a productive running game. Last time they played each other, 115 yards James Butler had, and he's going to have to duplicate that game, if not even more, for them to be successful tonight. It's not only going to be good for the team, it's going to allow for them to have a longer time of possession, but it's also going to help Nathan Rourke out as well, offensively speaking.
Yeah, can they stick to the run? Because I don't think there's any question that James Butler will have success. There's no question, to your point, that James Butler's going to want to impact this game. Can they stick with it? Can they be patient if they get behind? I think that will be the key. I'm looking at these switches. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but yeah, James Butler right there. I mentioned it last week or 2 weeks ago. James Butler has showed me the combination of the quick burst between the tackle, the power he runs with, and breakaway speed. Maybe like I have not seen from him before. To your point, maybe an extra motivation for him, not only this offseason, but probably bringing a little bit of that chip on his shoulder tonight as well. But again, I mentioned it. This defense of the BC Lions, the changes they made in the secondary. Now, we know that continuity is the key to a CFL secondary. BC Lions are not going to have that tonight. But I think Mike Benavides, Ryan Phillips, they think that some of the talent that they had, they wanted to get some other guys, some looks in different spots. They have belief in these guys, and if anyone knows secondaries, it's Ryan Phillips. He believes in these guys. Let's see what these changes bring. But pay attention, guys, to the communication between these guys and make sure there's no bust, because when you got Tim White, Keandre, and these guys, Kenny Lawler running down the seam, you can't have any busts.
Running back is important. Of course, defensive backs are important, but the quarterback is the most important position. And coming into this season, a lot was expected of Nathan Rourke. A lot of people were expecting him to not only be the MOP, but lead his team to the Grey Cup. And his numbers are decent. You know, they're second in passing, overall #1 offense as far as net yards go, but they're 3 and 5. And as a quarterback, you're not only judged on your numbers, you're judged on wins and losses. And right now, his team is struggling in that department. So I'm sure he's not happy with what's going on. You can tell by his body language, things aren't going the way he would like them to go. So it's expected of him to come out and have a big game. And if they can do that, if he can get back on his game, I don't see why this team can't make it to the Grey Cup.
Can I give you one more chance to fix what you just said? He said his numbers are decent. He's second in passing and first in net yards. What do you want him to do?
They're
to be
3 and 5, though. That's what I made the point, Chad.
Those aren't his numbers.
Yes, they are. And I said as a quarterback, you're not only judging your number, you're judging your wins and losses. That's why I said that.
His numbers are excellent. His numbers are excellent.
When they talk about any position, do they say how many middle linebacker he had 50 losses? No, they only say that about the quarterback. That's why I said you're judging your wins and losses, not only numbers.
To his defense, though, he's been in and out of the lineup, and he needs a little bit of consistency.
There are no excuses. There's no excuses.
It's not an excuse. It's a fact.
He missed 2 games. He missed 2 games.
In and out of the lineup.
You know what, Mill? You don't have to yell to get your point across. You can just talk.
No, I like it.
I like it too, man. I like the energy, Milt.
I'm just sitting here watching this, and I'm very entertained.
He's got that little vein that keeps coming out when he's ready to go.
This isn't entertaining because he's right in the middle of it. This is great.
You know why I have veins all over me? Because I don't have any body fat. That's right.
Oh, my.
Wow.
I don't think that's healthy, Milt.
Okay, you know what? Let's go back to the Lions overall. You just said they're 2 games under 500, right? We're week number 10 in the CFL right now. I mean, for like, how long do you give this team? How long do you give them? Like, if they drop to 3 and 6, I mean, is this too much for you? I mean, they are such a talented team. We know we haven't seen their best, but what is that runway for you?
If they drop to 3 and 6, it's going to be some changes, mate. You have to, because you're putting yourself in a position where you still have an opportunity to make the playoffs, but then you see, I can't make the playoffs with this team, so I got to make some changes. You talked about it before. They're already making some changes on defense. They're making some changes now. So they dropped to 3 and 6, especially after having 2 weeks off and you're playing against a team coming off a short week. There'll be some changes if they drop to 3 and 6.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're already 8 points back of Sask right now. I mean, this is to the point. But then again, guys, we know changes take place usually in the season, during the bye week. Yep. So I don't know what they can do. The changes aren't going to come on offense. Those guys have been doing what they need to do. I think the changes need to be on defense. Guys like Hatch consistently producing. I don't know what the changes will be, but I agree, Milt. When you don't win, it's a results business, and there will be something changed.
I'll tell you what, Milt, you're not wrong about the wins and losses falling on the shoulders of the quarterback, and that's absolutely true. But to your point, Chaz, his offense and the way that he's been playing when he is on the field has not been bad at all. However, defensively speaking is where the changes are going to continue to happen. And for me, I'm looking at that defensive line. I was talking to Coach Glenn Young, the defensive line coach, and I said, Coach, you guys are going to have to apply a lot of pressure. He said, Enoch, you'll see.
All right.
Well, we'll see. Well, over on the offensive side, Keon Hatcher, he's been great yards after catch. Here he is standing by with our Matthew Shinetti.
Keon, have you had time to process that fourth quarter and what happened against Hamilton 2 weeks ago, or is that in the trash already and you're looking forward to tonight?
That's definitely in the trash. Had some time to reflect back then, but you got to go forward, got to look forward, take a step forward this week, and come out here and get a victory.
The one thing, we were talking to Stanley Berryhill this week, and he gave a lot of credit to you and how you've been leading as a veteran. As this team, as Buck Pierce is telling us, is trying to find that collective winning habit and closing out games, what kind of role, what kind of messaging are you trying to impart on your teammates?
Just got to finish, man. When we get those opportunities to, take the game over or make a play that'll change the game, we have to capitalize on it. And just take it one play at a time and go out there and execute. We do what we're coached to do and go out there and do it how we're supposed to do it, and everything else will take care of itself.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good day.
So very polite. Meanwhile, guess who's back from Mexico? Robert Carter Jr. We introduced him in Mexico. That incredible one-handed INT. What does he have in store for us tonight?
You think he wanted to stay there?
Mitchell, lots of time. Deep shot again. Come on. What a pick by Robert Carter. Did he catch that? Wow. Oh, my God. You got to be kidding me. One hand.
I just seen the ball in the air. We're playing deep coverage, so I'm just thinking ball in the air, got to go get the ball.
Maybe one of the greatest plays ever made in football history. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that.
That was crazy. That's ESPN top 10 to TSN top 10.
Welcome to the show.
Buckle up. It's about to get loud here.
The one with unimaginable power.
Wow.
Amazing stuff.
How good is this guy?
And endless entertainment.
Unbelievable.
Where young trailblazers bring big speed, big swag, and big personalities. Welcome to MLB's best.
You can't help but be awed by it all.
Sunday Night Baseball, all season long on TSN.
This is the FedEx Cup. This year, tough just got tougher. There is no more advantage. It's straight up.
The FedEx Cup playoffs begin with the St. Jude Championship on TSN and TSN Plus.
Week 10 continues with a little Friday night football. The Elks in Montreal. And then on Saturday, it's a double dip. First up, an Eastern battle between the Red Blacks and the Toronto Argonauts. And then over in the West, the Stampeders welcome the Blue Bombers to Calgary. You can see those games 3 Eastern, 7 Pacific. All right, time now for our Anytime TD picks. Let us start with you, Enoch Mwamba.
Ooh, I'm going to go with James Butler. He is going to need to have a huge game with this team tonight again. Keep the ball away from Levi Mitchell's hands, and they are going to have a succcareful offense tonight.
I'm going to do a little lesson teaching today.
Talk to us,
please enlighten us.
I saw something pop up here. Robert Carter Jr. on this list. I believe he's plus 275 there, plus 290 to score a touchdown. That would mean that Robert Carter Jr., a defensive back, would have to score approximately 11 touchdowns in the season as a DB in order for this to have any value. Ladies and gentlemen, do not play this bet. Do not look at
But
Robert
you're going
Carter.
to?
I'm not. Do not play this Robert Carter Jr. Do not look at this. The anytime touchdown markets, guys, sprinkle these very gently, very tough to win. If you guys just listen, very tough to win on these anytime touchdown ones. Look for quarterbacks, running backs, anything other than that, very difficult.
Thanks, Davis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Or you guys can take their dumb picks and lose your money.
Thanks, Professor.
I'm going Kenny Lawler. I fought the Law and the Law won. Over the last couple of games, teams been keying on Kenny Lawler, thinking they take him out of the game and they'll win. Well, that hasn't been the case. So other guys have been getting loose, and because of that, now Kenny Lawler is going to start getting some single coverage, and because of that, I'm predicting 2 touchdowns today, Kate.
And I'm going opposite. I think they're still going to double coverage him, and that opens who? Keandre Smith. Okay. 21 receptions, 276 yards, 3 TDs. That is what he has done over the past 2 games. And guess what? I love my pick. Way more than Davis's pick. I know that. And everyone, he actually
big. I know.
No, he did. It's Robert Carter Jr.
I'm a man of the people. I'm a man of the people.
He did. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Do not bet Robert Carter Jr.
Then why did you say you wanted Robert Carter Jr.?
If you listen, Kate, you have to listen. That's the part of being a good panelist. You have to listen.
You know what? You can recap it again while Matthew's interviewing Keandre Smith.
Keandre, all eyes basically are going to be on this team and whether it can get to 7 straight wins. But I'm looking at your stat line. You flirted with 1,000 yards last season. You're trending towards that number this season. I know you're focused on team assignments and what you have to do, but are you thinking about that a little bit now?
Not yet. I'll think about that after the season. We'll check the numbers after. As of right now, we need this win.
To that point, and this offense, where are they right now? We saw last week you guys are even executing on 3rd and 7s to go 40 yards. Where's the confidence in the offense right now?
Everyone right now is in a great place. We had a nice short week preparing, but got our bodies rested, got a game plan in, and we're all ready to execute.
And do guys put their hands up when they want the ball, or is it just everybody staying ready?
If we did hands up every time someone wanted the ball, we'd all have our hands up every play.
Have a great game.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's fantastic. You just put your hands up. Bo, over here. He's only got a plethora of talent. Let's go our key matchups for this game. Look, I've got a ton that I want to be watching, but who are you watching?
There's definitely a lot to watch tonight, and it's exciting. But I'm looking at that defensive line. If they're not able to put pressure on Levi Mitchell tonight, it is going to be extremely difficult for them to hang on to this game. You don't want to get into a shootout with Levi Mitchell at home right now. So Hendricks, and I'm looking at Matthew Betts as well. Those two guys have to apply pressure tonight.
Yeah, I'm flipping on the other side. I think it's this BC Lions offensive line. I don't think BC has a chance to win this game if they don't protect. I think Nathan has to score. I think they have to score 40 points in order to win this game tonight. Hamilton puts up 35 at least. BC's offensive line has got to protect Nathan.
I'm going Bo Levi Mitchell versus the man who made one of the greatest plays in football history last week, Robert Carter Jr. But I'm going those two because Robert Carter Jr. is no longer playing cornerback. He's playing halfback, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Chaz, but playing cornerback to going to halfback is like taking advanced algebra to taking advanced calculus. It's a lot more difficult at that position, so I would imagine that Bo is going to try to attack him at that halfback position.
Real fast. I don't think it's more difficult, Milt. I think it's a different job, though.
You don't think it's more difficult?
No, there's different aspects of it. Obviously, you have the waggle.
Did you ever play halfback?
Yes, I did in my first.
No, you didn't.
Let me finish my point here. Let's not just yell. If you're playing cornerback, you might have the help of the sideline. But also, you can get isolated more. If you're a halfback, yes, they have the waggle, but you can also get isolated at cornerback. So different reasons for why it's tougher.
Milt, do you want to yell about anything else?
I have to switch seats tonight. I'm done with him. I'm quitting. This is my last time working with Chaz. I'm done.
Are you good? You know who else is good? Shea, just hoisting the Larry O'Brien. He will be honored in the first quarter. Ticats, Lions coming up on TSN.